Thank you all for being here. Such an incredible way to start off the Super Meet tonight with our gang from Blackmagic Design. We're talking about Peter, Paul, Mary, and Rohit, who are going to talk to you, Boo, and answer questions that you have provided on DaVinci Resolve. So without further ado, our friends from Blackmagic Design.
Hello. Thank you. So we have to stand in order. Hold on. Just so you know who's who. Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Oh, in reverse order.
And there's Rohit. So I'm in product marketing. Most of you know me. Mary Plummer is in training. Peter, your name's Peter.
It is Peter today,
yes.
yes.
Peter's the product manager for DaVinci Resolve, and Rohit is the head of engineering. So it's all his fault.
No, it's all my fault. All the good things are Rohit, all the bad things are me.
Exactly. So we're going to start with just a quick overview. So DaVinci Resolve 15 was introduced this week at the show, and the big headline features are the integration of Fusion built into DaVinci Resolve now, so you get visual effects, motion graphics right inside of DaVinci Resolve. We've added a huge amount of audio features to Fairlight, and then over 100 things that editors and colorists have specifically asked us for. When we sent out the email asking for questions from you, we really got more thank you notices than questions. So
thank you.
So thank you. And we're going to answer some of the questions in a minute, but we're going to jump in and just show you a little bit of the Fusion stuff to get started. All right, so am I on the screen? I'm on the screen. So using Fusion is really easy. It's right here down at the bottom of the screen as a new page in Resolve. If you want to add a visual effect to a clip, you just click on the Fusion page. You go to the Fusion page. Just like all of the other pages in Resolve, you've got things you can turn on and off at the top of the screen. There's over 250 tools and effects here that you can use. You've got access to your media pool. And in this particular clip, we're going to just do a quick composite to show you how easy this is to work with. So we're going to composite some graphics on top of the lady's face. The 1 key puts it in the viewer on the left. The 2 key puts an image in the viewer on the right. To merge these together, we use something that is appropriately called the merge tool. And I'm going really fast for all of you because we only have 20 minutes. So here we go. Connected together, you have an instant composite. By the way, I appreciate gratuitous applause. So, okay, thank you. It really makes all of us feel better. So, okay, so I've just dragged a blur in because the blur really helps make this look a little more realistic. You can adjust the parameters here, right, with the slider. So I'm just going to add a little bit of blur to that. And now we're going to paint some reflections on her helmet. So I'm going to add a background so that we have something to paint on, a paint node, and then we're going to merge that back on top of the composite I just did. And here we go. I'm going to use a brush. You see I have controls here, all different kinds of modes to use. And I'm just going to change the size of my brush, paint a few quick paint strokes. Oh, that was pretty ugly. I did a lot. Sorry. It's not the best looking composite ever. And then we're going to do a blend mode on that so we can adjust the amount of blend that we've added. And then the best thing about this is that unlike layer-based effects applications, we're using nodes. So it's really like building blocks. I don't have to go twiddle open layers and hunt for filters and effects. You can see everything that I've done in a flowchart style. So you can see the media comes in from the edit page at the left. We've added our graphics. We've blurred it, merged it, painted, merged it again, and then we're sending it through the media out on the right, which takes it back to the edit page. So having this integrated with the timeline is, I think, the first time anybody's ever done this, but let me just play it back for you really quickly. There you go. There's our effect playing back. So this is one of those times when you just start screaming. Okay. All right, great. So we'll do one more, and then we're going to start to answer some of those questions that you guys sent in. So we're just going to do a green screen. In this case, I have 2 layers here in a stack. If you want to, you can bring them both into the Fusion page at the same time, and you do that by creating a Fusion clip, switch to the Fusion page, and it automatically builds the node tree for me with my foreground and my background plates. So there they are. And all I have to do is go to my tools, my matte category, my delta keyer. I'm just going to drop this in. Now, because we don't have a lot of time, I already selected the green, but you can go in and you can play with the matte, you can adjust it, you've got total control over all of this. And this is a really great effect because the delta keyer, oops, let me just go back and go into the final image, not the matte. This plays back in real time on the timeline.
Hey, Paul.
Yes.
Why don't you show the particles?
The particles. Everybody loves some particles. So here's a little title sequence that we made. You get both 2D and 3D compositing in Fusion, or in DaVinci Resolve, I should say. So if I go to the Fusion page, here's a little title sequence that I built. Let me just make this a little bigger so you can see it. We'll go to single viewer mode. So I've got my particles. We're in a 3D environment here, so I can go in, we can zoom in, I can play this back. And it's completely interactive. So as I'm working in Fusion, I can move this stuff around. I can take my spotlight, and let me just move this a little bit. I'm going to move my spotlight, and you can see as I move the light, it is affecting the particles and the letters. I can change the color. And there you have a full 3D environment. So 2D and 3D compositing and graphics here in Fusion. One of the benefits of putting Fusion in, of course, is that we can do visual effects on any clip in our timeline. We can also save different versions of effects for every single clip. But it's also enabled us to do brand new titling here in Resolve. So for example, if I go to my effects library, my titles, we have a new text title tool, which is from Fusion. It's actually the Fusion text generator. And we're going to ship with dozens of 2D and 3D title templates that you can just apply and use right from the edit page. So I can't demo all of those because we don't have time, but what I'm going to do is just play some of them back for you. And let me just turn the volume down. So you can customize all of these. We've got title templates. You can change the fonts, the colors. Some of them are 2D, some of them are 3D. And this is just 5 or 6 of them. There's going to be probably over 40 or 50. That's a rotating cube that can be replaced with a 3D logo if you have one. You can change the color of the box, the font, retime all of these animations. So titling in Resolve is just become super, super awesome. So that's thank you. See, now they're getting it. They're clapping.
They're getting the clapping right. Well,
So,
Paul, the other thing is all the things you've shown are in the free version.
yes, that's all in the free version. So, and one of the questions we often get is how much does the upgrade cost? And the good news is that's also free. So, all right.
We have a few other interesting questions. Mostly interesting because half of them are about Fusion, which is fantastic. Obviously, people have heard that we have Fusion in Resolve now. And the first question on the list was, are we going to continue with the standalone Fusion? And the answer is yes. You can still buy Fusion 9 for those people who like Fusion. It's going to take us quite some time to put the full feature set in Resolve anyway. So by all means, go and buy a Fusion dongle. You can use your Fusion dongle to use DaVinci Resolve Studio as well. So you get the benefits of Fusion and DaVinci Resolve for the one dongle. So that's like a half-price deal straight away. The next question I had, I didn't have the answer to, and related to logging for production switches. When you're using a live vision switcher to switch cameras, can we capture that production data for switching the live video, then bring it into DaVinci Resolve to automatically create an edit based on the live production? It's a good idea. It's something that we'll think about for future. Yep. Your idea?
It wasn't my idea. That came from Grant McNair. But is Grant here? Did we answer your question, Grant? Really? Didn't even show up. Oh. All right, so we're not answering any more of his questions.
Number 3.
Number 3, how do you get an EPS or AI file into Resolve?
That sounds like a Rohit question.
That's a Rohit question.
You can export a SVG file, and that's where you can bring it in the Fusion node graph. That's an export format, yeah.
Pretty easy. Use an SVG. All right. We have a trimming question. So how do I trim like in Premiere Pro with Q and W?
I don't know what Premiere Pro does. So
I don't use Premiere Pro. I prefer Resolve for obvious reasons. No, nothing against it. You know, That's what it is. So actually in Resolve, we do have, this I believe is referring to ripple head and ripple tail to the timeline. We have these commands under our edit or trim menu. There are keyboard shortcuts. I think it's, when you're in trim mode, I think it's shift left bracket and shift right bracket to trim to the head or the tail. Well, it's a trim to the head or the tail or a ripple to the head of the tail or tail, depending on whether or not you're in selection mode or trim mode. And Mary's in trim mode right now, so if she selects a portion of the edit, moves the timeline, and hits shift bracket, it will ripple to
The playhead.
to the playhead. So
I don't know if I have handles on this. Nope, I do. Okay, so let's try that again.
shift bracket.
Bracket.
There you go.
There we go. Sorry, I had to select.
So
this.
the answer
Yeah.
is yes. In fact, if there is any edit feature that you think we don't do, come see us at intermission, and we will either show you how you can do it, or if we can't, which is really,
We've got a lot of.
I think we've got it all in there. If we don't have something, we'll put it on the list, but I'm pretty sure we can do just about everything you're going to ask for.
There's a lot. Okay, I have another question for Rohit. Why can't I see the PNG or PSD files in Fusion?
All right, this one, we're still working on finishing some of the Fusion features, and this is the first beta. It was a lot of work to kind of get everything in Resolve and running fast and GPU accelerated, so we'll get on it. Like, we'll probably have it in the next beta update.
We effectively worked on the Fusion integration for 6.5 months. And originally we thought it would be an 18-month project. So we've come to the conclusion that it still is an 18-month project, and we've just done the first 6.5 months. So it's certainly a beta 1, and there's a number of things that we know we have to get to, but it's a great thing for you to download and give it a try. And a few things like this, please report on the forums. I've started a new Fusion bugs issues beta for version 15 on the Blackmagic forum. So please, when you find any issues like this, make a note of them on the forum. Try and provide some information about how to repo the fault that you have. One of the things that frustrates me a little on the forum is people say, such and such is not working. Okay, I don't know which OS you're on, which version of Resolve. I don't know how you got to that state. Just, if you provide a bit more information, it makes it a bit easier for us to repo. Because if the engineers can't reproduce the fault, it's pretty hard to fix.
Yeah. You'll see that Peter, Rohit, and myself are on a lot of the forums, both of Blackmagic and social media. We ping and we chime in and answer questions as we can. We can't answer every question, but we do appreciate the feedback, and we are out there listening to all of you. So thank you for the feedback, and keep it coming. When moving the node over a string, it doesn't attach like in the video I saw on YouTube. So
you did the YouTube video, didn't you?
I did the What's New video. So yes, there's some post-production magic in there, but really the secret here is that you just hold down the shift key. So if Mary drags a tool in, and just drag any tool in, but not one of those.
Not one. Okay, just a text.
Yeah, that's just drag. So if she lets go of the mouse now, it won't, oh, well, that's a text tool, actually.
Wrong tool.
Just do the blur, the little eyedrop.
Just put it on the canvas first.
You can tell how much time I've spent.
Just drag the eyedrop, the blur tool to the canvas.
Okay,
And
got
just
it.
drop it there. Don't put it on the line.
Got it.
Okay, so now if you go and you want to try and get this on the line, nothing happens. But if she does that and holds down the shift key,
There you go.
it will connect.
Even
So
I can do this.
That's the magic. You couldn't see me press the shift key in the video, but that's how I did it.
You don't have one of those cameras over the keyboard for...
No, that's a good idea, though.
We should get a Blackmagic camera for that. We've got a little pocket camera we can do.
Like the cooking shows, right?
Right,
Well,
like the king
shows.
shows. All right, so the next question is, how do I make a picture longer on the timeline when dragging the mouse on the edge? It doesn't work. So is the person...
This is going to be a Fusion question again.
Is this a Fusion question?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's a Fusion question.
I think this is one of the things we haven't quite finished. Like, we had features in Fusion to extend and hold the last frame, so that will be coming in the future betas.
The reason I think it's a Fusion question is that the same question I asked two other Fusion questions.
Okay.
If it was the edit page question, that's just a matter of grabbing hold of the end of the clip and dragging it. Of course, you have no content to drag past. You can't extend it past the limits of your content. But I'm pretty sure that was a Fusion question.
Okay. All right, so we have about 5.5 minutes left. So let's maybe skip through some of these and just go to the important ones. What do you think?
We can do that.
How do you import Fusion 9 compositions into DaVinci Resolve 15? Rohit?
So you can, in Resolve 15, in the Fusion menu, we have an option to export and import comp files. And you can export a comp file from Fusion 9 and import it into this. Alternatively, you can also copy paste the nodes from Fusion 9 and paste it into the node graph. It's the same format, so it should be compatible.
It's very simple. I want to cover number 10.
Do it.
Is there a table showing the differences between the studio and the free version? There is. We've published on Monday a new comparison guide between free version, studio version from the Blackmagic website downloads, but also the studio and free version from the App Store. So you need to go to Blackmagic's website, go to the support page, click on the DaVinci Resolve section, and in the center column there's a new hardware configuration guide, which I've just finished, a comparison chart for the free versus studio. There's a 270-page new features manual, version 15 new features, just the new features, that's 270 pages. That'll keep you busy for a while. And I've updated the formats and codecs that we support document. That's another dozen pages of riveting reading. Something to put to sleep with if you're having trouble at night.
I think our new features documentation is longer than most user manuals.
Yes.
So.
Yes, the actual finished version 15 manual will take a couple of months for us to get through because there's quite a lot of development that really only finished in the last 30 days. And our Lexus Van Herkman document trainer extraordinaire that works on our manual for us wasn't able to finish in time, not surprisingly.
So we haven't even really touched on Fairlight audio tonight, but we have done a ton of work in Fairlight. So we've added a complete set of ADR tools. We have added, which Mary has there on the left, we've added audio and video scrollers, a new scrolling timeline, which is really kind of cool. You can see your video film strip at the bottom there. It makes syncing sound effects with video extremely easy because you can see every single frame that's attached to it. We support sound library, so if you have a sound library, you can now access that directly from the edit page and the Fairlight page. Let's see, what else? There's some other good stuff. Oh, we have over a dozen cross-platform Mac, Windows, and Linux native Fairlight effects audio plugins, so things like reverb, de-essers, hum removers, all kinds of great stuff in there.
There's really good UIs for those plugins too.
Yeah, there's some beautiful UI work in there, very responsive. The reverb, for example, you can grab the room and you can resize the room in the reverb plugin, just as Mary's showing you right here. So there's some really great stuff in there. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, wait.
So.
Yeah, this is cool. No, I was just going to say, yeah, these are as easy to work with as they look, so.
Yeah. And you know, if we had 3 hours, we would love to show you all of the features, but we don't. So please stop by our booth. We have a theater where we're doing demonstrations. We also have free training all day tomorrow. So starting at 9:30 every hour, there are 1-hour training sessions on editing, audio, color, visual effects. Free 1-hour training seminars up in room 224 in the South Hall. That's right above our booth, basically. You take the escalator up. It's first come, first serve. They're free. Go get some training. You can get an hour-long seminar on each page in the application if you want. And then we've got the video on our website and all the documentation Peter talked about. All right, so.
Time for another question? We have time?
Yeah, we have time for another question.
Yeah,
Okay.
question.
Sorry?
I said one, go.
One more question. I have a question which I thought was quite interesting, and maybe all of us can quickly answer. What's your favorite DaVinci Resolve feature? And Mary's probably going to pick audio, am I right? There's something in the audio?
Oh, not me. Yeah, no, I would say Fairlight is my favorite
All of Fairlight.
feature. Yeah, pretty much, because it is awesome. It really is. If
Okay.
you come by the booth, I'll show you.
It's a full-featured digital audio workstation within the timeline.
Yeah. Okay, I have a great one. So if you switch to the edit page, my favorite new feature are the tabbed timelines and the stacked timelines. So you can have,
Oops.
oh.
Sorry. That was me.
And look, we're out of time.
No, that was me.
So we have 33 seconds left. She'll show that for you in 30 seconds if we can get it in time.
Tab
But,
timeline. Stacked.
So stacked and tab timelines. So basically you can see multiple timelines at once on top of each other and drag and drop and edit between them. Or you have the tabs where you can just click them in the same part of the user interface. So let's see, turn on the stack. So now she's got one timeline on top. Just hit the drop down arrow.
Oh, yes, sorry.
I know, 9, 8, 7, 6. There you go. 2 timelines at once. Excellent. Rohit, quick.
My favorite feature is probably Fusion integration, just because it was really challenging from an engineering standpoint, and we kind of worked very hard on porting it to 3 GPU platforms, Metal, OpenCL, CUDA, and made it really fast and live, like no rendering to disk, etc. is required to make it run.
And as an old colorist, my favorite feature is on the color page, of course. We have, in this release, introduced a LUT browser, which allows you to browse by skimming over all of your LUTs and browse and see what each of those LUTs will do. So you can very quickly see what's there.
So that's all the time we have. We love you all. We thank you all for your support. And we want to hear from you, so keep it coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, yet another round of applause for Peter, Paul, Mary, and Rohit from Blackmagic Design.